So here you can see the dashboard of WebCenter in the list of tasks or projects. You can find the different files and the associated documents associated with that file. So to start a comparison from here, you can there are two ways to do that basically. So if we look at now, I will run some simple demonstration files here for text graphic, and then we get to the hard copy. So I will show you that it looks basically the same. When you see the different files that are available in a task or a project, this is a project, I believe. You can see the Word file here, for example, and the PDF. And to compare them, I can either tick the two and then access text or graphic compare here, or I can go into the viewer, the WebCenter viewer, and fire off the comparison from there. So there are both ways are available. If you want to initiate a text comparison, I select the two files, I click text compare, I select which one is the reference document and which one is the current, depending on in what order you have clicked them. So the current file, the one we would like to approve, is the PDF file, and then we have the reference file as the input Word file. If I click OK there, that will open up our tool. This is an interactive comparison, so you are in full control of all the settings and so on that you need to do. Now I want to spend a bit more time on the hard copy, so I will skip some of the things I typically show for text comparison. But basically, you have some different settings. You can modify how the comparison should be carried out with regards to bold, italic, font and size, and so on. Having selected the settings, we can go to what we call manual selection. This is where you can highlight what you would like to compare. So we get the Word file to the right, exactly like you would in WebCenter. And then we select what we do want to compare. So I make a selection like this to exclude the header up here and the page numbers. I apply that to all the pages. We do the same thing for the target file. We select everything. I don't need to exclude anything here. We apply that for both the pages. Second page is Chinese, first page is English. And then I hit compare. After 1 second, we get to the result. We have found 5 deviations, and we can look at each and every one of them like this. So we have again the target file to the right here. We have a blue box around the word "and," which means that this has been added. The green boxes indicate that they are identical. They are just there to show you where we are. And we can go through the deviations to say whether they are deviations, meaning they need to be corrected, or whether they are acceptable or expected changes. So we take not the deviation in that case. We can type a comment, or we can generate a comment, like add a text and then hit OK to take us to the next one. You can zoom in a lot here. You can zoom in to 6,000%, and we can see here that, for example, here we have 10 powered by 6 in the Word file and 106 in the target file. So of course, this is an important change. It should be 10 powered by 6. So I will go through. There are like 3 more. So let's just do that. OK, dot and comma. Style change. So we have bold in the Word file, not bold in the target, but let's say that's OK. And then we have one more in the Chinese. If you don't see what the difference is, sometimes, especially if you are comparing a language that is not the one you can read, you can also bring up what we call the analyzer, where we can show you exactly what has changed. So we have a different Chinese character here. We can close that. And again, it should be that one that is in the Word file. You can also see an overview of all the deviations that you have, and we can skip to the previous page. So and we can look at that, and we can navigate between the two. Once you have checked the text, or run a graphic compare, or run a hard copy compare, it often makes sense to also check the barcode. So we do have a barcode analyzer built into this. You have a barcode reader also in the WebCenter, so there is a little bit of overlap there. When you marked a barcode, you confirm that, and it will give you first of all, applicability check. So it checks if it's a good sized barcode for retail, manufacturing, pharma, general distribution. And these come from GS1. So we didn't invent these profiles. They are from a standardization organization. And we would know which purpose we have this barcode for. So let's say this is pharmaceutical. And then we can also see the grade of the barcode from A, which is perfect, to F, which is failed. We get also magnification, bar weight reduction, and lots of other stuff that you can check against your technical specification. The barcode might be perfect, but the value can still be wrong. So of course we have the value up here, and you still can decide whether this should be registered as a deviation or not. Let's say this is fine. We do this for all the common barcode types, including two-dimensional barcodes like data matrix and QR codes. Once we are done with all the deviations, we can generate a report. That report will be sent back to WebCenter. So we arrive here. It can take a few seconds until it has been consumed, and then when I open the PDF document next time in the viewer, we can now see that we have some additional annotations here. So my text changes are visible here as well. So you do not need to always open the report to see what has been highlighted as a difference. They are available here as well. So the report is still there in case you want it, but the ones we said needed it to be corrected are automatically imported into the WebCenter viewer, which is really good for your workflows. So this was a quick introduction to text comparison. Do you have any questions so far? Okay. Right. So if we now go back, we have an authorized PDF, and we have sent that to the printer, and the printer has returned a ready for print file. When you do that kind of conversion, so the ready for print file will typically be an outlined, vectorized file, and the approved master should be a live text file. When you want to compare them in a viewer, if you go to compare mode, you can see that a lot of stuff has kind of moved a bit. I know you can change the threshold here to kind of indicate what the difference is, but it doesn't give you a list of differences basically. So if you want to get a more detailed comparison on this kind of step in your workflow, you can go to graphic compare. This is also where you fire up the hard copy compare if you have a scan. So that's the same. And we do a graphic compare here. We again get the approved master. And in graphic compare, we basically have quick or filter. So quick will pick up any tiny difference similar to what you just saw in the WebCenter viewer, and filter will remove anything that is caused by conversion. So, you know, small changes of curvature to the text or blackness in an edge of a character and things like that. All those stuff we can ignore while still picking up the real differences. Here we can do, we select everything within the trim box, for example, and then we hit compare. Running a graphic compare is a heavier operation than text compare, so it can take maybe 10 seconds for this one. It's not so big. And then we get again a list of differences. We can see them side by side like this, and we can also put them on top of each other, similar to what you can in WebCenter. And it now indicates that actually, although all the characters, so you see they have fattened up a bit and slightly moved, it will still only pick up the difference with the line here under the degree character. So that, of course, this is a deviation. The user interface, as you can see, is very similar to text compare. So once you get a hang of one of them, you know how to use all of them. This we can ignore. And then we have a color change. So it has gone from bluish to greenish, and that is indicated here like a color change. And I think the last one is a line that has been added. So the graphic text and graphic, they come as one package. The hard copy is separate, but they are all sharing the same user interface and so on. Even here you can read the barcode. You can also read the braille. If you have any braille on your artworks, we can highlight the braille automatically, and after having selected what language this should be, this is Unified English, we can get the content of the braille here as well. So the braille and the barcode readers you have available in text graphic, and in some cases hard copy. When it comes to reading braille from hard copy, it's a slightly different monster, because they are often in most cases punched into carton. And to read that reliably, we rely on scanning the backside of the carton. So it's a bit different from reading them from the from an artwork like this, but it's still there.
If I'm not mistaken, there was a question in our previous demonstration around languages. Japanese, would that be supported in that Braille dictionary, or?
We do not have a Japanese dictionary right now, but that is if that is a requirement, we can always add additional dictionaries to that list, and that's possible to do without software update. It's just a configuration thing. So I haven't had that request from other customers, to be honest, but yeah, this can be done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
As long as the letters are 3 by 2. Yeah. Okay, so even here we can generate the report. It complains now because I haven't said whether this is okay or not. Okay. And after refreshing, we can now. Yeah, you have to go to current. I always forget that. So now we can see here that here we have something different, here we have something different, and here we have something different. Typically, you would write a comment about what it is, but it's available like this. And you also get the braille. So you get that braille information in here as well. I was going to show you also the hard copy from within here, because I prefer to show you from within WebCenter all of it. Now there is a little issue here, and that is that I cannot show you this document in the viewer for some reason. So if I go here, it will just download it. Yeah. So I will show you this. I unfortunately have to show you this on the standalone system. So when we run this standalone, you see the colors are a bit different, but apart from that, it's the same. And if I go here, so with hard copy, we can compare typically a PDF that we take to the source side of it. And then we have either a JPEG or a PNG. So those are the two formats we use. We can take PNG. So we upload that into the system. You see here I have a button also for scan jobs. So it is possible to feed the system with scans directly from the scanner. So you don't have to always upload them into WebCenter. But I think in general, when we talk about the WebCenter integration, it does make sense to have the scan inside WebCenter, because then you have all the input available in one place. So I think that's how we will set that up. Then we have resolution. So you do need to know what resolution the image is scanned in. So that we recommend 600 dpi for most purposes. And then we have either normal or grayscale. So this is a pharmaceutical leaflet. So it's basically dark text on bright background. If you are comparing something more elaborative with labels where you have lots of colors and things, then you can use the other one, which is more sensitive to color changes. And and it will pick up shine through if you use that. But whereas the grayscale can ignore all the shine through that you get from the backside of the leaflet. If we go into manual selection just to have a little look, we have the leaflet to the left, and I can make a selection. Let's do it like this. So I make a selection. This is the region I would like to inspect. I can hit find, and that will scan this image and check for the best position to run the comparison. So there we are. If you have multiple scanned samples of the same artwork, this can sometimes happen with labels that you have. You want to check all the labels that can fit on the print sheet width, basically. So you can put 5 labels on here and compare one artwork to 5. That's perfectly possible. But here we have a leaflet, so it's a bit easier. If you have multiple pages, you select both pages in one go. You don't have to generate one report per page. That's not necessary. Right, so we hit compare, and this will run for a few seconds. All of this is now happening in the cloud on the server, so you do not need to install anything on your own machines. That's any kind of modern browser will be able to handle this. So.
Yeah, that's still very fast if you think about the fact that this is 600 DPI, a raster image.
Yeah, it is pretty large, such an image. And if you have so this system is designed for up to A2 size. We can handle even larger than that, but once you pass that size, really, then the images become really big, and it can get a bit heavy lifting. Some customers they have some really large leaflets, so the scanner they have they basically scan half of it in one each operation. That's perfectly fine too. Once we look at the page overview, we can see all the deviations. And when you, for example, have this kind of thing, so we have detected a few places in the barcode where we have a difference in how much the ink has bled, basically. It is possible to go to what we call edit mode and just say that, okay, these I want to treat as one deviation, so we don't have to handle 4 in the same region. And I think even down here we have something similar. So let's do like that, and we apply that to reload the result, and now we have 6 deviations to go through. It's inevitable that when you do a hard copy inspection, you do get a couple of what one could call false positives, because the paper is slightly rotated. You can have it has been folded, so you get a bit of a crease, and it moves things a bit, and so on. So you need to look at each deviation and say whether this is a problem or not. Here you can see that it has bled really a lot in the barcode here. So we will come back to the barcode later, but for now we can say that this is not deviation. It doesn't. There are no defects in here. If we go to the next one, this, however, is of course important change. It's a deviation. Same here. O and E. But you can see we ignore all the other things that the paper is. I mean, you're used to the global vision, which will look similar. So the paper is of course grayish. The black in the PDF is perfectly black, whereas in the scan it will always be some shade of gray. But we focus on the content here, so we indicate that the O and E has been switched. That's a deviation, and here we have one. It's a quite good example of hard copy, because the only difference between an L and an I is actually the little white space between the dot and the rest. So you can also see like this. So you kind of understand where the pixel differences are, and you can see that there's a bit of shine there, but in most cases the blinking is the clearest way to look at the deviation. This is also deviation, and here we had the one I joined. We have a bit of noise here that has been inserted, so that's something we say is deviation 2. So we are done with our deviations. Even here we can check the barcode. So I scan the barcode. When you do that on hard copy, we don't check it against the applicability checks because the resolution 600 dpi is nowhere near enough to measure a precise width of a bar. So it would be too sensitive, whether it's 8 dots or 9 dots, that can make a big difference in this calculation. So we do grade it. So we say that this is an overall grade of B, which is pretty good for a scan. And we get the value and the type of barcode and quite so on and so on. So this is not the deviation. We can scan the other one as well, the QR code. And here we get the value, which is typically for a QR code is usually a web address, and you can get the quality correction level, and even here quite so on and so on. We don't grade the 2D barcodes, we grade the one-dimensional ones. So that's also okay. Yeah, so that was it. In the same tool here, you have, for example, also a measuring tool, so you can measure the distance between two objects. You can measure to the edge of something, or between. You can see it snaps to the points. You can measure distances. And you can also add annotations to it. So basically add a deviation that the system didn't pick up, but you picked it up because you want to say something. You realize that actually both let's say both the PDF and the scan has a misspelled word or something like that you want to highlight. Then you can put an annotation in here that will also be sent back to WebCenter.